Hello friends, welcome to Art Piece YouTube channel. Today we're going to be making the color green and then we're going to be painting this picture of a frog. So here's what you need. You can download this picture of the frog and print it out, and what you would need to go with it is a cardboard if you're using an easel. I have a palette. I have 3 brushes. I'm not sure if I'm going to use all 3 brushes, but I have a medium-sized round brush, a small round brush, and a very tiny round brush. I have a palette knife or a spatula, I don't know what you call it. I have 4 colored pencils. I have black, I have white, I have silver, and then I have yellow. And then I'm going to be using all of these colors today, which is blue, red, yellow, and then I'm going to be using black and white. These are all washable tempera paint. So parents, don't worry about messes. As long as you have soap and water, you can clean up easily afterwards. So I'm going to put these over here. And I'm just going to start out with I don't think I'm going to be using red today. Maybe just blue, yellow, white, and black. We will see. So, in order to paint a frog, you have to know what color a frog is. Most frogs are green. Today we're going to paint a green frog, and we're going to be using 2 primary colors to paint the frog. We have blue and yellow. Both of these are primary colors, meaning that you can't mix any colors to make blue or yellow. But if you mix blue and yellow together, you get a secondary color, which in this case is green. So I want more yellow than blue. I still have paint in my palette. I want more yellow than I want blue. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drops yellow. And then I'm going to do 1 drop blue. We're going to start off with that. And then I'm going to take my palette knife or spatula and then I'm going to mix it. And see if I like the color. Let's see. This is the color I came up with. I want it to be a little bit more yellow. So I'm going to add 2 more drops of yellow. Okay, let's see how that is. Turn it around this way. There you go. Okay, yeah, that's the color I want. So this is the color I'm going to work with today. And I have a cup with water for mixing. if I haven't mentioned that, and I have a paper towel for cleanup. So I am going to use the bigger brush for now. And when I get into these little smaller areas, I'm going to use the smaller brush. Okay. So I'm going to paint around his eye first. And I'm going to try to stay where the white spaces are for now. I'm going to paint over his mouth too. And I'm going to try not to paint his eye right now. I will paint his eye last. Alright, so I'm going to paint the back of the frog now. And his tummy. Okay. So I think that this part is where the frog stops, and that part is a leaf. So we're not going to paint that part. Now we're going to paint the arm. And I'm trying my best not to go out of the lines. And then I'm going to paint another. I think it's his feet right here. Alright, I'm going to paint his other. These are his toes, so I just painted this toe right here. Now I'm painting the other one. Looks like there was only 2 toes that I see, so that's what I painted. Finished painting under his belly. Now I'm going to try and paint his back leg like that. I'm going to use the smaller brush to get more into his toes. that. All right, so I'm gonna drop a little bit of yellow right there on my palette, and I'm gonna mix the brush. I'm going to mix with the brush and get a more of yellow in this green, and I'm going to go back over the frog with it. Now this is with my thinner brush. I actually like this brush better. The reason why I'm going over the frog with more yellow is because the leaf that he's on is going to be a green, and it's going to be like a darker color green. So that green is going to have a little bit more blue than this color. So it's going to be a different shade of green. Now I'm putting my brush in the water because I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to make gray. So I needed white and I need black to make gray. And I need just a little tip of black. I need more white than I do black to make gray. And then I'm going to mix that together. Now this gray is a little bit too dark, so I'm going to mix more white in it. Let's see if that works. Okay, so yeah, I do have more of a lighter grayish color. It could be a little lighter, but I'm going to use that for now. So now I'm going to add the gray to the belly part of the frog. So all his underparts from the bottom of his mouth all the way under, I'm going to paint gray. And then I'm going to paint his toes gray too. And there you go. And I'm going to paint his back toes gray as well. And I'm going to come over his shoulder part. I'm going to rinse my brush out. Then I'm going to go over it with the green again and then cover his shoulder again. And then I'm going to go over his feet a little bit. And I'm going to do the same with his back feet. I'm going to rinse my brush off again. Then I'm going to dip it in the green. And then I'm going to go over his back leg. And his, I guess you would call, his back. Then I'm going over his back feet again. And his front feet. Now for the gray part, I am going to go back over his tummy again with the gray. All right. So now I'm going to do his eye. Forgot about his eye. So we only see one eye. And that's the eye we're going to paint. So I have one drop of yellow. I'm going to rinse off the smaller brush. And I'm going to paint his eye yellow. Now, for the leaf that he's on, we want it to be a darker color green. And we already have green in here. So I'm going to drop one drop of blue right here. And I'm just going to mix that into the green to get a, I'm going to use a bigger brush for this one. To get the green that I am looking for, a darker green. Let's see if that works. And then we're just going to mix a little bit more blue in there. There you go. We're going to paint around the frog. Like that. Be careful not to paint his feet. We don't want his feet to get mixed into the leaf. And then I'm going to go up here. I need to hold my easel because it's trying to run off the table. Alright, so the leaf is also right here. And I'm going to try to paint around his eye. And bring the paint underneath him like that. And I'm going to go on the other side and do the same thing. Okay. Now, it's up to you how you want to finish this picture, because the main focus was pretty much the frog and the leaf. Here we go. So I am going to let that blend in. I'm trying to figure out what am I going to do for the background picture. I'll probably just make the rest of it like a yellow-green color. Just so we paint the whole page. I think I'm gonna need more yellow. So I want it to be mostly yellow. So I'm dipping my brush in the yellow and then a little bit in the green to give it that cool look. And I'm going to fill everything around there with the yellow greenish color. And when we are painting around the frog, we want to make sure that is mainly yellow so that this doesn't get confused with the frog. My paper is coming off of the cardboard. So I'm going around the frog first, and then I'm going to add more green in there. That way we don't get confused where the frog is. And I'm going to cover the entire paper. If your paintbrush gets too dry, you can dip it in water and then continue. But you don't want your paper to get too wet, because if it gets too wet, then it will rip, and you don't want that. Hold this part. Okay, so I have finished this picture. For now, I am going to let it dry. And then, once it is dry, I'm going to go over it with some more detail.